Genesis 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, who she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And Shemech, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her, and he took her, and laid with her, and humbled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the Desmel, and spanked kindly unto the Desmel. And Shechem spanked unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this Desmel to wife. Now Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter, and his son were with his cattle in the field. And Jacob held his peace until they came. And Hamor the father of Shemech went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came in from the fields when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought fully in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which things ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shemech longeth for your daughter. I pray you, give her unto him to wife, and make ye marriage with us. Give your daughter unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get your possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find favor in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shimshak and Hamor his father with guile and spank, because he had defiled Dinah their sister, and said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sisters to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. Only on this condition will we consent unto you. If ye will be as we are, that every male of you be circumcised, then we will give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughters, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son, and the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was honored above all the house of his fathers. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their cities, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein, for behold, the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us them our daughters. Only on this condition will the men consent unto us to dwell with us, to become one people. If every man among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and all their beasts be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearken all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the cities unawares, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went forth. The sons of Jacob came upon the land, and plundered the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their flocks and their herds and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and all their little ones and their wives took their captive, and made a prey, even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simon and Levi, Ye had troubled me to make me odious to the inhabitants of the land among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in numbers, they will gather themselves together against me and smite me. I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? Genesis 34 is intentionally disturbing. It's one of those chapters where God is mostly silent, and the narrative forces you to watch what's happening when sexual Violence is committed. Leader responds with passivity, and justice gets hijacked into revenge, while holy things, circumcisions, are used as a weapon. This is not a model story, it's a warning story. What happens in the chapter plainly? Dinah goes out to see the daughters of the land. Shechem took her, laid with her, and humbled her. The word presents an act of sexual violation, at minimum coercion, shaming. In the story, moral framing is defilement. After Shechem came to love her and asked for marriage, Jacob hears, and held his peace until the son's return. Hamor and Shechem proposed a deal: intermarriage plus trade plus shared land. Jacob's son answers, will guile, requiring every male to be circumcised. On the third day, Simon and Levi massacre the weakened city. Then the brothers plunder it and take captivities. Jacob rebukes them for making the family odious and vulnerable. The brothers reply, should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? What's the text saying about the rape / defilement? The story calls the act fully in Israel, which things ought not to be done. That line in the narrative is moral verdict. This was evil, not a romantic mistake, not a cultural misunderstanding. Defile and folly are covenant terms. It violates the moral order God is forming in Israel. Also important, Dinah's voice is almost absent. That's not approval. It's part of the tragedy in the patriarchal honor culture. The narrative exposes how easily the vulnerable are treated like objects in negotiation. What God is saying here, sexual violation is real wickedness, and it is not to be done. Shechem and Hamor, love mixed with power and self-interest. Shemshek says he loves her and offers any dowry. But notice, he speaks to the men. Dinah is treated as an item to acquire. Hamor pitches intermarriage and trade. The city leader selling point is greed. Shall not their cattle and substance be ours? So the proposal isn't pure repentance. It's assimilation plus profit, dressed up as a reconciliation. They are trying to absorb Jacob's family into their system. God's message: don't confuse emotional language, love, or financial offers with true justice. Power can say love and still be predatory. Jacob's silence, a leadership failure. Jacob held his peace. Then later, when he finally speaks, his main concern is, you made me odious. They will gather and smite me. Jacob's words are almost entirely about danger and reputation, not Dinah's trauma or moral justice. That doesn't mean safety is irrelevant, it matters, but the text lets you feel the imbalance. God's message: when leadership is passive in the face of evil, the next generation will try to fix it, often with sinful extremes. Simon and Levi, seal for honor, that becomes covenant crime. Their anger is understandable. The men were grieved, very wroth. Something truly wicked happened. But their response is a second wickedness: deception, misuse of circumcision, massacre, plunder, captivity. The worst theological detail: they weaponize circumcision. Circumcision is the covenant sign to given to Abraham, an embodiment marker belonging to God's promise. They turn it into a trap to cripple men for slaughter. The profanation, using a holy sign to accomplish unholy violence. God's message: never use the things of God as instruments of revenge. So what God is trying to say: if God is silent in narratives like this, God speaks through. The narrative moral framing, folly ought not to be done. The consequences that follow, the later canonical judgment. Later, Jacob explicitly condemns Simon and Levi's violence in his final blessings. Cursed be their anger, I will divide them. That later interpretation matters. The Bible itself tells you their acts was not righteous justice. So Genesis 34 is not endorsing Shemshek violation or Simon and Levi's revenge. It shows a world where sins multiply when it's answered with more sins. The chapter's central theological warning: evil done to the vulnerable is truly evil. The text calls it defilement and folly. Money in marriage proposals don't erase injustice. Restoration without truth and accountability becomes exploitation. Passivity in leadership invites destructive solutions. Jacob's silence helps set the stage for his sons who act with uncontrollable fury. Holy signs can be abused for violent ends. That's one of Scripture's most serious warnings. Religion can be turned into a weapon. Rage at injustice must not become injustice. The brothers question, should he deal with our sister as a harlot? Names a real outrage. But the narrative forces you to see outrage does not sanctify atrocity. A clean PhD pastor takeaway. God is showing you what happens when sexual sins, political power, family dishonor, and spiritual hypocrisy collide. The victims are silenced, leaders freeze, and vengeance masquerade as righteousness till the covenant community itself becomes guilty. Genesis 34.